There's other cars parked on this roadway as well, so you don't want to cause damage to your own vehicle or their vehicles because of that as well.
Brian Sherrod reporting live with that update. Thank you. Also breaking, an early morning fire caused more than $50,000 in damage in Grand Forks. Firefighters were called around 2 overnight about a fire in the 5600 block of East Prairie Wood Drive. They found smoke pouring out of the garage that was attached to a house.
Now, firefighters were able to contain the flames to that garage, and the family was able to get back in the house afterwards. There is still no word on a cause. New this morning, the North Dakota Fire Marshal is looking into a fire that destroyed a large shop in the Southern Valley. It happened yesterday afternoon around 3 in Christine, that's in Richland County.
The sheriff's office says the shop was about 30 by 50 feet. It went up in flames. There's no word yet on the cause. No one was hurt.
Now 6:51 on our Thursday morning. We want to get a check of our weather, and all morning I've been watching that temperature gauge, Lisa, and it's just been slowly creeping up, which is a good sign. Good morning.
It certainly is. Good morning. We're looking at temperatures climbing in Fargo after clouds moved back in. That helps to blanket us and trap in any heat that the earth is radiating. Not much, of course. It's cold out there, but it does help having those clouds overnight in this kind of weather. And looking at your area conditions, you can see there are some places doing a little better than others. Fargo's at 0 with mostly cloudy skies. Seeing a little hint of that sunrise peeking through some of those clouds as we look east. Grand Forks is at 1, and there are some flakes out there. You may have noticed in Brian's live report a few flurries working their way through, and in Grand Forks we're getting some reports of some light snow and flurries. Thief River Falls, Bemidji, we're below 0 there at 7 below, and at 7 above in Devil's Lake, 4 below in Detroit Lakes, and a few more places, Bemidji, Devil's Lake, and Detroit Lakes, all reporting a little bit of that flurry activity. It's not showing up very well on radar because the Mayville radar site's down. Just a reminder that it's going to be down for a couple of weeks, but we can kind of discern from other area radars that are picking up some light snow in the region that we're expecting to see similar situation here underneath any clouds that are overhead. You can see there is some clearing in a couple of spots, but that cloud cover is advancing eastward. I also want to mention we've had some freezing fog in the south, and in Fergus Falls we are at 0 for visibility right now. So easy does it there. It might be a little more slick in some of those areas that have had some fog, and then other places where visibility is down a bit, that's due to the snow that's coming down, the flurry activity. So right now for your bus stop planner, it's more on the cloudy side, not as frigid as we've been yet again. And as we work our way through the morning hours, we'll watch those temperatures rise. A high of about 10 degrees in Fargo. That will feel nice, especially because the wind won't be too strong. We'll still have a bit of a wind chill, but it won't be as tough as it has been with some variable cloudiness. And even into the afternoon, we could have a few of those flurries yet again. Here's a look at where we've been and where we're going. Last couple of weeks, we've been at the bottom. We've been looking at those temperatures way below average, and we're still climbing that hill back up to average temperatures and even above as we head toward the weekend. So hang in there. We're feeling better now, and that will just continue here in the forecast.
Thank you, Lisa. National Guard troops and hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the state will converge on the Minneapolis area during the upcoming trial of the former police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. Authorities say they've been planning for the trial of Derek Chauvin for months in hopes of preventing a repeat of the violent unrest that caused millions of dollars in damage last year.
The State Patrol says authorities will be working to protect everyone's rights to peacefully protest while also ensuring that businesses, government buildings, and infrastructure are protected. Law enforcement will use quick reaction teams, bicycle rapid response officers, SWAT officers, and other tactics to keep the city safe. Federal agents have seized 10 million fake N95 masks in recent weeks. It's the result of an ongoing investigation into counterfeits that were sold in at least 5 states to hospitals, medical facilities, and government agencies. The most recent seizure happened yesterday when Homeland Security agents intercepted hundreds of thousands of counterfeit 3M masks in an East Coast warehouse.
So how can you tell if a mask is real or fake? First, it must be authorized by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. The mask has markings for their approval. It also needs to filter at least 95% of airborne particles. And when buying a mask online, look for typos, bad grammar, or errors on the website. Check reviews for the product and the seller.
And remember that if the price sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Legitimate companies generally don't tell buyers that their products are real or genuine.
The city of Fargo is extending its face mask mandate to help slow the spread of COVID-19. It was supposed to expire today, but will now be in place until March 22nd. A letter of recommendation to extend the mandate was provided by Fargo Cass Public Health, citing that most of the school teachers in the area still have not been vaccinated. They say vaccination rates in general in Cass County continue to remain low, and at least 75% of businesses in the area say they support this extension.
Meanwhile, West Fargo's mask strategy has been extended as well. It's in place until May 3rd. Businesses are strongly encouraged to limit capacity to 65% or 200 people maximum, but there is no penalty for not following this requirement, or this mandate, excuse me. The UK COVID-19 variant strain is now here in North Dakota. State health officials say one person who recently returned from domestic travel before getting sick, and the second person was a close contact of the first. One other case is suspected to be the UK variant, and it's currently under investigation. Sanford Health experts say that it's normal to see mutations that cause other variants, and the best thing to do is to get that vaccine.
We're getting an inside look at a new COVID-19 vaccine clinic. The Moorhead Center Mall location is only open once a week, since vaccines are allocated between other pharmacies and hospitals. Your doctor will reach out to you first, then you have to make an appointment. Getting your vaccine actually only takes a few minutes. When you walk in, you'll get registered and wait in line to get your shot at one of the 4 stations. The longest part of the process is actually the 15-minute waiting period afterward to check for symptoms.
We send out invites to our patients that are chosen based on their acuity level and different diagnoses. They are given an invite, and then we call them to schedule, and then we bring them on in and get them vaccinated and get them scheduled for their second dose while they're here.
For more information on how and when you'll receive the vaccine, visit our website, valleynewslive.com, or use our VNL News app and look for this story. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has announced plans to let middle and high school students return to the classroom for in-person learning as early as Monday if their schools are ready and follow required safety protocols.
He's citing progress on coronavirus vaccinations and declining cases and lower grades at many Minnesota elementary schools that are already open.
The sacrifices you made saved lives. The sacrifices you made kept us underneath where we could have been, and the sacrifices you made make sure that more people are going to go back to school, they're going to stay in school, and we're going to open our businesses and keep them open.
The governor expects all schools to offer some form of in-person learning by March 8th. That is less than 3 weeks away. Key decisions on implementation will be up to the local school districts.
Moorhead superintendent says high schoolers will be brought back in person full-time on March 8th. Pre-K through 8th graders are already learning in person. A Minnesota shelter is stepping in to save some pups from the winter weather down south. More than 70 dogs and 1 cat arrived at Underdog Rescue in St. Louis Park last night.
They came from a southern Texas shelter that was overcrowded and didn't have any heat. And when the cold temperatures hit down there, the shelter's pipes, they froze, leaving the animals without running water. Volunteers then drove 1,300 miles to get them. The animals will stay with foster families until they are ready to be adopted. And get a check of this video. It's pretty bizarre. People on South Padre Island who already lack basic amenities in Texas in their own homes because of that cold snap, they're now rescuing cold-stunned sea turtles and taking them to a convention center in that resort town.
The convention center started pitching in on Monday when its neighbor, Sea Turtle Inc., lost power and could no longer handle the number of sea turtles being dropped off. But the power's starting to come back on, and as you can see in this video, more than 2,300 turtles are now warming up in more comfortable conditions. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 38% of people say they always go to the same place for this.
The answer, it's the haircut. You find someone you like and you keep going to them. Remember, you can play along every day. The Today Show in CBS This Morning, it's just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo CW.